Hey, what's going on, guys? It is officially winter. We have just passed the holiday. It's been cold here in LA. I know not as cold as it's been in the rest of the country, but cold for LA. So I figured why not do a soup? We're gonna do a quick, easy chicken soup that we make all the time. This soup is usually in our fridge most days throughout our winter, so I wanted to show you guys how to make it. Our recipe, let's get started. We have carrot, onion, celery, chicken, bay leaf, pepper, salt, and some kale. This is a pretty simple recipe. I'm trying to make all of these recipes so they're as easy as can be, but super tasty. I'm gonna start by slicing all of our veggies. Our carrots, I'm slicing up. Doesn't matter what shape they're in. This is basically just gonna form our chicken stock along with our celery and our onion. Our celery, I'm just gonna cut the butt off. We're gonna throw that away, and we're just gonna take about 4 of them, 5, and again, just slice them up. Onion, same thing. We're gonna take the top off. We're gonna cut it in half. We're gonna peel off the skin. Slice our onion as well. We brought everything over to the stove, pot. We're just gonna throw it all in. So I got my chicken here. I got breasts, 2 breasts, and then I have a leg thigh combo. I'm just gonna throw those in. I'm gonna cover with water about halfway, and then I'm gonna turn it on. We're gonna go high. We'll throw our bay leaf in, just one, and then I'm gonna throw all my produce in. My carrots, my celery, my onions. It's all going in, right? Then I'm gonna top with more water. I'm gonna give it a couple turns of pepper. I'm gonna be very generous with my salt. I'm probably gonna wind up putting about 3 to 5 tablespoons. Now, we're gonna bring it to a boil, and then we're gonna turn it down to a simmer. We're gonna let this go for about 45 minutes until our chicken's done, and then we're gonna pull it all out, and then we're gonna put in our vegetables that we're gonna finish it with. Our soup's been boiling now for 45 minutes, more or less, probably 40. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take the chicken out. So my chicken's done. I'm gonna take each piece out, and we're gonna shred it. So I want to pull it all out. Pull this guy out, make sure that's all of it. I got one more piece. So I'm gonna let this drain out and cool because it's really hot right now, and it would legitimately be like tearing apart fire. So we're gonna let this cool for a few minutes. I'm gonna let this boil still a little bit. Once I'm done shredding my chicken, I'm gonna pull all these vegetables out. The reason I'm pulling all these is because they've served their purpose. We have all the flavor from the vegetables in our soup now. So we're gonna pull them all out. We're gonna put fresh vegetables in. The produce that we put in earlier was strictly to make a stock. We're not gonna leave that in because that's gonna be really mushy and it's not gonna taste good. I mean, it'll taste good, correction. It's just gonna be really mushy. So this is where you can get creative. At the bare minimum, what I usually put back into the soup is carrots, onions, and some kale. I also have some green onions, and I have a few squash left over from Thanksgiving, so I'm gonna throw those in there too. At times I've thrown sweet potatoes in. I just kind of throw whatever vegetables we feel like having. These carrots I'm cutting on a bias just to make them a little bit prettier, and so they have a little bit more room for us to bite onto. As soon as we cut our carrots, we're gonna wanna throw them into our stock and bring our stock up to a boil. The carrots are gonna take the longest to cook, so we wanna make sure to get them in there first. If you end up using a squash, you're gonna cut it in half, and we just wanna take all the seeds out. And this squash skin is edible. It'll cook down in our soup. So I'm just taking my squash and I'm slicing it into bite-sized pieces. And we're gonna throw this in as well because this is gonna take quite a bit of time to cook. I usually put leeks in this soup, but the market was out of leeks today because of the holiday, so I found some wonderful cipollini onions. So I'm just throwing some cipollinis in there. We just want some kind of an onion component to go into our soup. I usually put 8 leeks in. Since I didn't have leeks, I put about 8 cipollinis. I'm just peeling them and quartering them so they're more bite-sized. Our carrots are in, our squash is in. Now I'm gonna throw our onions in. Our chicken's done. We're just gonna shred this up. So we're gonna take it, it's gonna all pull off the bone. We just wanna get it into bite-sized pieces. Our chicken's shredded. You could leave it on the bone if you want to. I just shred it because it's easier to eat and we don't have to try to pick through it. We just throw it all in, let this come to a boil, and it'll be ready in about 10 minutes. With our kale, we don't want the stems in there. The stems are actually pretty bitter and hard to eat. So we're just gonna take the stem and we're gonna pull it out. This is TUSCAN kale, so the stems are pretty thick. We're just gonna pull those out, throw those away, and then tear our kale into bite-sized pieces. I put about 4 pieces of kale in. I tore them up. I'm just gonna take them. We're gonna throw them in, and we're gonna mix them in there. Now I checked my carrots to make sure they were done before I threw those in. All I did was pull the carrot out, stuck my knife in. It comes out clean. That's what we're looking for. Our carrots are done. We're gonna let our kale just turn bright green. We'll turn this off. It's ready to eat. So there you have it. It took about an hour and 15 minutes from beginning to end with making chicken stock to make this great soup. It's a great soup to just have in your arsenal to make for the ones that you love, when you're sick, when you're feeling well, when it's cold out. If you can, click subscribe, click like, get notified when our new videos are coming out. We'd love to have you guys come along with us. Hope you guys enjoy this soup. See you guys next week.